Willie's at Western Hills for our neighborhood preview show tonight. Guys, we're wrapping it up. Willie's Westchester. Willie's Western Hills on another day. Thank you all for coming out to our neighborhood preview show tonight. And thank to our servers, Kristen and Christina, wherever they are. And I'd like to thank Nick Wesendarp on the audio master boards for getting us all set up. Brady Labor out there for taking our photos. And with me on stage now is the head coach of the Northwest Knights, Mr. Chad Murphy. And Chad, this is a year. I mean, this is the one we've been waiting for Northwest. This is the one they say 20 years, no playoffs. You've got the talent. It's, you know, a whole different mindset now over on that side of town, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Expectations are high. I mean, last year, 7-3, best record in 21 years there, and 16 starters coming back. I mean, expectations from the coaching staff, and players, and administration, definitely high.
When we talk about the administration, one of the guys that we started 7 years ago at Tri-State Football, one of the first people I've met, and I think he's just a wonderful guy, is Joe Pollitt. Talk a little bit about your relationship with your athletic director.
Well, since he's come on board, I mean, it's been great things. I mean, football is definitely a priority for him. I haven't heard the word no thus far yet, so hopefully we can keep that rolling with some wins and keep it going around there.
Building a program. You know, now you're winning. It's never happened there. The field is not the best of shape, but you do get a great crowd, a very, what do you say, a loyal crowd. There's no doubt about it. What's the numbers been like since you're winning? I mean, are kids really into it, or are they coming out?
Well, I think I've heard a couple other coaches say our numbers aren't as good as they were last year. But you know, when I first took over, I was all concerned with numbers. But now we got a few less stragglers. I think they know my expectations, and they're not. You know, like I tell the kids every day, not everybody's cut out for this. So you know, numbers are a little less. We got a big senior class, 19 seniors, 16 of them play quite a bit. You know, started to play quite a bit. So you know, the senior class has been where it's at. I've been with these guys since they were sophomores, and a lot of them started as sophomores. So pretty exciting.
When we look at your schedule, I want to talk a little bit about your non-conference. You got Finneytown, and I think that game's over on Cincinnati at the new facility, isn't it?
Yeah, at the Shakely Athletic Complex. That'd be good for our kids. I mean, it's not Nippert, but I've told our kids, you know, I mean, we're a D2 program. We're not a D1 program. I'd rather play at a place that we're going to fill up than have 100 people sitting in the crowd at Nippert. I think the atmosphere is going to be nice.
I like your game against Amelia, because when I look at Amelia, they had 4 or 5 kids that were freshmen that started for them last year. A very young team like you were last year. Weaver's a great passer. It's going to be a better game than you think. And I think when it's all said and done, that's going to be a great Harmon Point game for you, because they're going to rack up SBAAC wins.
Well, yeah, we hope so. I mean, we finished 7-3 last year and finished 10th in the region, so you know we can use all we can get. Actually, my first year they beat us. I mean, I think they were a little bit more physical than us when I first took over the program, but I think, you know, this year I'm hoping we can take care of business. I've got about.
Well, then in week 3 you got the good one. Tecumseh, perennial Division II power. If you're ever going to play against somebody to really test where your level is, the arrows are it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we wanted the game. You know, I like the idea of a Cincinnati team versus the Dayton team. I liked it for that reason, and also because they're 6-4, 7-3, playing a good conference year and you're out playoff team. And also a little wing tee gets us ready for some other guys in the room possibly. So.
Let's talk a little bit about those other guys. I want to talk, you were the coach in the Swafka All-Star game. You brought Kent McCullough out. When you get some guys from your own league that help you coach, how do you pick their brains? What do you look for?
Well, I got to know him a little bit. I mean, he's definitely a good coach, and I know they're going to be big and physical, and I think that's been the nemesis of Northwest prior to the last few years is physicality. But I think, you know, we've solved a lot of them problems overall in the weight room. I think, you know, I think last year Ross got us, you know, we come off of Mount Healthy, beating Mount Healthy, and to our kids, beating Mount Healthy was a Super Bowl. And then we roll in the next week trying to, we walk into Ross thinking we're going to walk in there and just win a football game, and lost 13-7. But physicality has been an issue, and I think we've solved a lot of them problems in the weight room.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your offense and your defense before we go. Start on the defensive side of the ball, because your linebacking crew is about as good as it gets with Nolan Miller and, of course, Rasheed Jones. Let's talk about them.
Well, I think that, you know, defense wins championships, and then we've got about 8 starters back on defense. And we run the 3-3 stack, and our front 6, 5 out of those front 6 are going to bench, you know, 300 pounds. We got an inside linebacker that's committed to go play at the University of Cincinnati, and I think Nolan Miller, he's 6'1", 230, power cleans 265. I think those two guys, we're still looking for a Will backer, but 2 out of those 3 guys are as good as any linebacker in the city. D1, D2, don't matter. I think 2 out of the 3 are as good as anybody in the city.
That's a lot to say. Then you got Daquan Render. Are you going to play him more on offense or defense?
Well, he's going to start both ways.
Okay.
I mean, he's a heck of an athlete. He's got an offer for Kent State, but he's still got some work to do outside off the football field. I mean, he's got to get his head right, but he's a good player. He's definitely a good player on both sides of the ball.
The one player on offense that I really think is going to have a monster year is Raymar Harrison. Talk a little bit about him.
Well, last year, kind of like we did back in the day at Monroe, we rotated 2 quarterbacks, and we held to that system last year. Every 2 series we rotated. We had a sophomore that was a pretty good passer, and we had Raymar, the junior, more of the runner. Raymar is going to be more of the ATH this year. He's going to play a lot of slot. He's going to play a little bit of running back, but he's also going to get equal reps at quarterback, only as good as your number 2. So Raymar is definitely an athlete, and glad to have him back.
Line plays. Sterling Clark. One of your big guys. Talk a little bit more about who else is there, and how about your size up front?
Well, size up front, not huge, but definitely bigger than we have been. Sterling's 6'3", 305. I mean, he's benched 185 pounds 5 times as a sophomore. This year, 185 17 times. He's tripled his strength. We're big and strong. We're getting big and strong. Now, we got a lot of squatty bodies, 5'9", 260s, 5'10", 270.
Squatty bodies.
But I think we're definitely going to be bigger and stronger up front than we have been, no doubt about it.
Very good. Well, there you go, guys. Head coach Chad Murphy of the Northwest Knights. They're looking for a big season after a 7-3 year and 21 years without the playoffs. This seems to be the 1 year that they might get it. When we come back, we're going to introduce our nominations for our preseason all-tristatefootball.com team and wrap everything up here from Willie's in Westchester.